The 2001 movie Luck of the Irish was Disney Channel's way of teaching us to celebrate all of the world's different cultures, while also sort of implying that Irish people are evil, thieving goblins who will try to steal your gold. It's weird how 20 years ago, even when TV diversity was taking a big step forward, it was right into a pair of borderline racist leprechaun shoes. So let's join Kyle as he discovers his magical grandfather who never cared about him, and go on an adventure packed with low-risk action, touch-and-go accents, and an irresponsible amount of untrained Irish step dancing. Someone's gonna crack a toenail. Luck of the Irish features a tight script with some large plot holes, unflattering male grooming, and blatant America the Beautiful messaging that will smack you in the face like the smell of corned beef and cabbage. So grab a shamrock shake and polish your lucky coin for a culturally confusing installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for another installment of Clip Breakdown. This is the playlist where we dive into our favorite movies, TV movies, YouTube content, and we pluck it from the fresh Irish field like it's a four-leaf clover so that we can look at it clip by little clip and decide that's a lucky move and that is a horseshoe to the head. Horseshoes. And today we were really getting into it with a movie that I remember and loved as a child, Luck of the Irish, a 2001 Disney Channel movie starring Ryan Merriman. As someone who grew up only knowing that I was half Irish and half Italian, I really had nothing fun to say about world cultures except for like spaghetti. So when a movie came out that was about Irish people, that I thought like, okay, this legitimizes my heritage as something I can talk about. So I remember this movie distinctly. But before we get into it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on Disney Channel movies like this. Also, most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on the bell and you'll always be the first to know when I'm plucking a fresh Irish floor-leaf clover. Plus, I've got merch available and a Patreon where you can access exclusive bonus clip breakdowns and other watch parties and cool stuff every single month. Luck of the Irish started to bring back memories that were buried deep in my subconscious right from the beginning. Do you remember this?
Everyone in the world is different from everyone else. That's easy to see. Just look.
I see them, but why do they all look so mad at me? It's like writing an accurate version of It's a Small World where every culture is embarrassed of the American. Also, that old grandpa guy, you can see they just told him to take his glasses off because they have marks on his nose. I would have noticed that right away. I mean, like, can we get some concealer for Grandpa Joe? Thank you. A lot of times actors will come in with glasses and then you're like, ooh, that's glaring. Anyway, the reason all these people are scowling is because this is a dream sequence. Sorry to spoil that for you.
Our next performer is Kyle Johnson. Kyle?
Hey! I'm down here! What if I'm not that lucky? What if I'm the only person who doesn't have a heritage? What if I'm different?
I guess I'm confused. You are scared of being different when you just said
everyone in the world is different from everyone else.
Also, I love how Kyle's main fear is that he doesn't have a heritage. Like, what do you think? Your ancestors just strolled out of the wilderness into the suburbs 100 years ago, already wearing J. Crew and melting Velveeta? You have a heritage, sir. You just don't know what it is because your parents are lying to you. The parents are lying! Speaking of the parents, they're like always trying to tell Kyle like, you know, no, what you're thinking is just your own fault. The dad is here telling him like, no, that bad dream was just for nothing. Even though for us, it was very important foreshadowing.
Pre-game anxiety. Everybody gets it. I used to dream I was at the game wearing nothing but my underwear, and I was just in the band.
Dad, it's so early in the morning for you to be gently telling me about your underwear. Can you please just make sure you get the house payments in on time? This weird dream has Kyle wondering about his roots.
Where's our family from, Dad? We're from right here, son.
What's our heritage?
We moved here from Cleveland.
We're Americans, Kyle.
This family not even having to think about their pre-American ancestry is the ultimate white privilege. The mom said, why do you even need specifics beyond Anglo-Saxon, sweetheart? Just take the life without discrimination and go. Oh my God, you guys, this is literally one of those movies where the kid plays basketball. Like, don't you ever bring me a basketball. I will stab it with a knife. I'ma suck all the air out of your basketball and use it to sing a tune about how I hate the game. So Kyle's like the basketball MVP because just as the timer's running out, he smacks the ball in, so it's supposed to be like showing that he's a very lucky person. And he's also the school MVP, which makes him very popular at school. Okay, so now we've ruled out the possibility of even any distant black relatives. That little dance break just gave us faster confirmation than any familial DNA test. That girl from the dream, Bonnie, is pretty much on Kyle's ass this whole movie about his culture. Like, girl, why do you care?
Hi, Bonnie.
You know, I'm in charge of the Heritage Day committee.
You're in charge of like every committee.
I'm putting together the program, and I wanted to know what you're gonna do for Heritage Day.
Well, my mom says that I'm just American, so I guess I'll get on stage, say something racist, and have a heart attack. Kyle basically dismisses it. He's like, well, who needs a heritage anyway? Whatever, that's dumb.
It's your history.
Yeah, but I mean history. You know, it's like so 10 minutes ago. Now sports, that's what's happening now. That's where I'm coming from.
Your family history can't be sports, Kyle. We already told you this when you wanted your religion to be basketball shorts. It's very easy to see what the message of this movie is because the characters all pretty much outright say it throughout.
America is a nation of immigrants, Kyle. Everybody's ancestors came from another country.
And this powerful message will be suddenly jammed down your throat throughout the movie, using sudden patriotic monologues about the American dream. Sometimes this script sounds a little bit like Grandpa got into the cooking sherry. We get some more little scenes here to establish Kyle is a lucky guy. He's daydreaming throughout his test, so he quickly answers all of the questions just by guessing.
You'd be better off leaving them blank, Kyle. Remember, I subtract points for wrong answers.
Summer school.
Who are these hating girls? Because I want to sit with them at lunch. Remember when those little bandanas were in fashion in the early thousands? Every girl looked like a little house on the prairie. Sweetheart, if you're not dying of typhus, take that thing off.
You know, in real life, you can't depend on luck to make up for not knowing. These answers are all correct.
Oh, you didn't know I'm the Rain Man of social studies? Ooh, pick your jaw up off the floor, Teach. I'll see you at the final.
Cause I be the baddie beat, Barbie tank, banging body beat, everybody beat, on my D.
Like I said, I felt even from when I saw this as a child that the script did well establish that Kyle has all of this luck that he benefits from. In fact, throughout this movie, I really appreciate the whole buildup of the third act. Things are being released to me at appropriate times so that I'm interested. Like, we're only 6 minutes in and I'm already like totally caught up with the story and the parents' suspicion. After seeing a couple meandering movies in the last few weeks, I'm really glad by how quickly this one kept it moving in a cool 82 minutes. Love that.
This looks great.
It's something I saw in Eat Smart magazine.
Was this an issue from 1973, or was the garnish of huge romaine leaf something you decided to add yourself? I'm not surprised that no country wants to claim you as their own if this is what you're serving up. If Rachel Ray saw this, she would gouge her eyes out. Kyle continues to push his parents for more details on where they're from as a family. I'm starting to get nervous for him. Like, he's gonna find himself dead if he keeps asking these questions. They don't love it. They're gonna give him the old cement shoe blocks, the old bandana around the necktie, you know? The old 32 skidoo. The old long ride in a canoe down the dirty river. The old dancing in the moonlight. Oh my gosh, do you guys see these adorable crocheted plushes that a Screen Star patron of mine, Amanda, sent me? Ooh, how adorable. That's Rhonda, but with a gay pride color scheme. I thought they were perfect. That's appropriate since I'm always knocking Rhonda over. Amanda, thank you so much for sending these. They're prized possessions.
I think your great-grandfather moved there from Buffalo.
Dad, I mean before that, before we came to America.
Why are you so interested in your family all of a sudden?
And more importantly, how has it taken you this long to even think about it? The mom is giving me a very unstable energy. She said, I thought I told you don't have a family, so you better shut up and eat that nasty salad. The next day, Kyle is using his hip new iMac that the school has, love the Apple product placement, to research his family, but he's so inept that Bonnie even has to explain the most like basic concepts of how to look stuff up.
Okay, what about your mother's family? Where were they from?
I don't know.
Well, half of your heritage comes from her, you know.
Never really thought about my mom's family.
I just sort of assumed she grew out of the rib of my father in order to heat up our pizza rolls. Like, wouldn't a lot of these questions have come up earlier when he realizes that other kids have grandparents and he doesn't? Just curious. It seems like waiting till you're 14 for World Culture Day to ever even consider that you have an extended family is late. The real luck is that they've never tested Kyle's IQ because he would be back a few grades. So they basically get nothing from the internet. He has to go back to asking the parents, which is not helpful.
I couldn't tell Bonnie that I thought my mom and dad were hiding something from me. That day after school, it got weirder.
Oh my God, Diaries of a Simple Kid. Tell me how this voiceover narration gives us any information that we couldn't have already had visually. They could have had him just doubt the parents in conversation, and then they could have had some other little thing that's ominously weird happening to hint that things are gonna get worse. I just feel like they added voiceover narration to kids' movies, especially early Disney Channel movies, as a way of keeping things really easy to understand for children, but they probably underestimated our intelligence a little bit. We just grew up thinking that all movies needed voiceover narration, and you get people talking over their movies all the time like it matters. Shut up, just let me watch the movie. Shut up, I don't want to hear your voiceover narration, okay? Ooh, that got really close to cutting me. So, Kyle does some snooping in his parents' office and sees that his dad has changed his name from Bob Smith to whatever the hell it is now. Johnson to Bob Smith. 2 names from witness protection agencies. So he knows something is up, it's true, it's confirmed, what's going on, who cares? Is there any shamrocks to be had in a envelope? Interesting to note, this movie came out in March of 2001, so it was like around St. Patrick's Day, but the movie itself doesn't actually take place around St. Patrick's Day, it's just like random time of the school year, and very Irish, for no reason.
You're the luckiest guy in school, Kyle. Everybody knows it. You know what? I think it's because of that lucky charm.
No, it's just something my mom gave me when I was a baby.
A gold coin? You are lucky. All my mom gave me when I was born is herpes simplex. I'm just kidding, Mom. I don't know what's causing my cold sores, but the doctors have ruled out anything from Earth.
Hey, check it out. Somebody lost 10 bucks.
Luck and a half, man. You're always finding money lying in the street.
The universe is like, we keep trying to pay reparations to that black kid, but Kyle keeps snatching up the money. This shot shows off the beautiful mountainscape of Draper, Utah, which is where a lot of this movie was shot. The whole thing was shot in Utah, similar to 1999's Don't Look Under the Bed, which I've also covered. It seems like in these early 2000s movies, a lot of them were shot in Utah before all of the production as it is now really moved over to Canada. And it's really interesting because actually I remember, and I talked about this in my live editing video, reading my filmmaker magazines at the time and seeing a lot of ads for like, come shoot in Utah. A lot of times I'll see in the comments people asking why all of these movies are shot in Canada, or in this case, Utah, and the answer always comes down, or usually, to tax incentives. It's up to a local place's government on how they want to incentivize filmmakers to come shoot projects there. So they can say, oh, if you're shooting, you know, a movie here, you get a 10% tax cut or whatever. So you can really save a lot of money on your budget by shooting it in the right place. So I would see these ads that were like, come shoot in Utah, you'll get beautiful deserts, you can shoot for the city in Salt Lake City, you can make it look like anywhere in the country, basically. It's like they want to show it as a diverse place where you can get your project shot for cheap. Nowadays, with the Canadian exchange rate and the fact that Canada has really built itself, like Toronto especially, to be the Hollywood of the North, you'll see a lot of people doing stuff in Canada just right off the bat. Cheaper to find large numbers of actors, cheaper to do everything. So I love it. I think it's fascinating. In college, I took a producing for independent film course where we learned all about how the producer is basically trying to get the biggest tax savings on all of those things to save you money. Because the less you're spending on taxes, the more you can put into beautiful makeup effects like those pointy ears they give these kids. Luckily, Kyle finds a clue towards his heritage when he notices this poster for Saints of the Steppe by Seamus McDermott.
No, the thing behind him. It's the same as my coin. That was like Chinese or something.
Baby, that was never Chinese. We need you to take better notes in school. With his luck, he's just gonna marry some poor, unfortunate woman who has to take care of him for his whole dumb life. So, in order to find out what's on this coin, Kyle and Russell go to this family fun fest. Okay, so now we know that Irish step dancing loses some of its impact when there are no tap shoes. It looks like those kids are trying to break in their new Skechers. Russell and Kyle are looking around the Fair Park Ground Park McFest, and they see a book. You know when you can just feel the caffeine kick in? I just felt it. I was like, do you guys like my set decorations? They're gel. The gel. Kyle's learning about his heritage.
Maybe I should read this.
Is it a leprechaun power to be able to react to book covers before you even read them? Also, interesting move for Disney Channel to make this cover a cute reference to Dr. David Rubin's Everything You Wanted to Know About Sex But Were Afraid to Ask. Little known fact, the entire plot of this movie is actually based on a really messed up St. Patrick's Day story someone sent in to Hustlers. This whole thing where they're like at the fair is like the master of convenience. If he couldn't have found anything about these gold coins online, then how come they're just like blatantly available, mass produced?
They have these good luck thingies like yours.
Clothes are just, fake. Mine's real gold.
Oh, he gets bougie in particular when it comes to his jewelry. He said, no baby, this is from Tiffany's. Please don't associate me with those fashion district knockoffs. It doesn't take more than 5 seconds of standing around at a public space for this old creepy man to come and approach them. There's a reason for it in the movie, but I would have been pepper spraying this old man so fast.
You can always tell the real thing.
Me trying to sell my Pokemon cards. This actor who plays the old man famously played a Irish leprechaun on an episode of Bewitched, or on several episodes. I don't know, I'm not my grandma. So I think he's sort of like doing a reference to that role by being cast in this particular one. I know people from Ireland, real Ireland, probably watch this channel, I'm guessing. So I wanna ask you, do you think it's weird the way that in America we treat the Irish culture? We're like, oh, shamrocks and leprechauns. Like that can't be the way that it is over there, is it? It's like we make everything into Christmas. We're like, oh, the Salem witch trials? Halloween. St. Patrick? Oh, we're gonna make that into about drinking in pub crawls. Like, that can't be how it is in Ireland. So does seeing something like this make it feel weird that you're like, why are they treating Irish like it's literally just the Lucky Charms guy?
Did you make those yourself?
You mean my shoes?
I didn't make them myself, but a child my age in an offshore factory probably helped. Do I still get credit for that since my mom bought them for me? If someone came up and asked me about my shoes, I would run. I'd be like, he's about to steal my sneakers.
Good Irish leather, huh?
I wish when he did that, it revealed he was wearing long fishnet leggings and a garter. And then he looked at them and said, these have always brought me luck. I remember noticing this when I was only 10 and this movie came out, but I feel like the old guy looks weird here. I think it's because he has a bad makeup job. When the monochromatic old man starts showing me his feet, it's time for us to leave the park. I think it's just like they use too much makeup. He looks a little washed out in some of these shots. Anyway, this guy shows us that he's got some magical, mysticals dealings.
Get the boys a bag of spuds.
Hey, how'd you... Where'd he go?
He's just laying at their feet with a broken hip. Oh, I threw my bones out of whack flipping those coins for you, mates. I'll never understand why they used a third of their special effects budget on these CGI quarters. Like, is that a leprechaun thing? Are you really good at rolling coins? This is the point where we meet Seamus McTiernan, the saint of the step. He's an Irish step dancer. I used to think Irish step dancing was so cool. Again, I really wanted to like have a culture that mattered. I thought it was so cool how other people could like speak other languages and I was just white. So I was like, okay, maybe I can make Irish step dancing my thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably a good thing I did not. Irish step dancing is a beautiful art, but I am just pure joints and elbows. I would be like, I would look like one of those paper skeletons that you hang on the door. But I really love this part, how he was magically teaching people how to Irish step dance. I was like, if he could just touch my shoulder, I could make it something of myself and dance my way out of here.
If the blood in your veins is as green as a shamrock,
then you should definitely see a doctor because you've got sepsis. Trust me, as someone who does a lot of their own home repairs, I've been impaled by my fair share of rusty nails. I actually find that the lockjaw keeps me from talking too much, so. On his tour of inappropriately touching the shoulders of children, Saint Seamus McStepping, he touches Kyle Cargiger's shoulder as well. The names! Kyle is played by Ryan Merriman of Smart House, Baby, Mama, Jesus. Now this next part I can really get into. They brought in the professional step dancers for this number. Me after using the communal Irish Springs body wash in the gym shower. Russell notices that, oh boy, Kyle's really feeling the saintly Patrick's Day of it all.
What are you doing? I don't know, I can't help it.
You better act like you can help it, Kyle. Irish step dance? More like Irish step don't. Kyle always looks rather inconfident when he's doing these Irish step dance steps, which he has to do throughout the movie. You'll notice that hand being like super tensed up. He's like, ooh. I'm guessing that one weekend of Irish step dance training wasn't enough for him to carry this movie, but hey, low budget, I get it. The people on stage, however, they're killing it. I love the sound of this step dancing, don't you? It just puts me to sleep. I used to love watching Riverdance when I was a kid. My mom would put those tapes on and we were like, yes, mama. Tippity tap. We would put like thumbtacks on the bottom of our shoes so we could be like, tick, tick. So anyway, as the music builds up to a crescendo, that like kind of big guy who was kind of oafish from the beginning pushes him down.
Sorry, kid. Top of the morning to you.
That feeling when you're pretty sure you were just groped by two dudes. Not that it's ever happened to me. I can't get a guy to grope me even when I stand outside pulling my pants down a little like the Coppertone girl. Sometimes it seems like more people avoid me than anything. So the next morning, we start to see that something's not right. Kyle gets up and immediately stubs his toe on one of his basketball trophies. But there's other weird stuff happening too.
Top of the morning to you.
Mom, you're not auditioning for a play again, are you? Because I think we all agreed it was more important for you to have dinner ready by 7 every night.
Did you do something to your hair, Mom?
I just thought I'd try a more natural look.
Oh, and do you think those extensions have a natural look? I see. It looks like the bottom half of your hair got off the boat at Ellis Island just a little bit later than the rest of you. I guess neither of these parents have jobs and the whole family is just like independently wealthy. Must be nice. Because they're always home to like talk about the mom's clear mental illness like it's not a big deal.
No, you was trying to hide it, Bobby. It's about me family, Kyle.
Kate, why don't we just go out and
We're Irish.
Kyle's like, damn it, I was hoping for something that would lend a little more street cred to my dance moves. I love the excuse that the mom gives for never telling Kyle that he's Irish. It's so out of touch.
Oh, I wanted to protect you, Kyle, from the way it was when the Irish first came to America, from the jokes and the dirty jobs nobody else would take, and the signs in the shop windows saying, "No Irish need apply."
Mama, this is not Gangs of New York. There are more relevant types of discrimination happening in the US these days. She really thought she did something there. She's like, that said no jobs need apply. As though she's not talking about something from 1801. He was just trying to write a paper for his school play, girl. But hey, I guess once the cat is out of the bag, she decides it's time to embrace Irish culture with all of her pale, freckly arms.
Potato cakes, bangers, and a black and white pudding.
Oh, thanks so much, Mom. Are you also going to come clean up my rampant diarrhea after homeroom? Why is she feeding them as though Ireland is a fictional kingdom in Game of Thrones?
And I packed some crabbeans and Kilcannon for your lunch.
Disney said, let's celebrate the Irish by making them seem like people who would eat rotten pig's feet out of rusty buckets. Like, Irish people still exist in modern times and they have grocery stores, I'm pretty sure. This really confused me as a child because I was like, I don't ever want to go to Ireland because they eat garbage. Like, no ma'am, they have Wendy's there. I know that I was a stupid kid, but they really had me confused thinking that Ireland was back 100 years like Hogwarts. Besides for the mom's weirdness, Kyle still has some bad luck that day.
I guess it must be the luck of the Irish. That was the beginning of the unluckiest day of my life.
Spoken like a person who hasn't experienced real tragedy yet. Oh, you got splashed by a puddle? My whole heart is full of worms. Well, not mine, but it can happen to dogs sometimes, okay? We get a little montage showing Kyle's other bad luck. Nothing too serious, but just, you know, some mild embarrassment. She said, no thanks. I dated a guy who was into piss pants last semester and it ruined my car's interior. The music throughout this movie is always very jazzy. Like, I feel like so many of these early thousands Disney Channel movies are such like older union-made movies by people who are our parents' age at the time, where they're like, how about a little upright bass to make this sound hip and cool? Same with the makeup and fashion. It's always like dressed by our mom from Kmart. Wait, did the director tell him to break the fourth wall and look right into my eyes there? And if so, why? Because that felt strange, like when you're in a dream and you realize you're dreaming. But you see the camera goes into a Dutch angle, which is when you turn a little bit on an angle there to give the feeling of everything being askew and not right. Effective visual storytelling, I think, so we don't need that goddamn voiceover. Kyle has more bad luck, something falls on him at lunch, and then he has to be doing basketball. Every time they go into basketball parts here, I lose my mind with boredom. Shut up with basket. I don't care about basketball. I never cared about basketball. If I ever touched a basketball, it was by accident. Every time I hear shoes squeak on a hardwood floor, I have to murder something. I don't like basketball. I don't like basketball.
You win tonight, you make history. The first time this school has ever had a basketball team make it to the championship game. Yeah.
I like basketball again. I don't know what this coach is saying, but I will be trying out for the team next year. I would be like, hey coach, watch me do a free throw. Do you want help washing out that little mullet after the game? I have real sharp fingers. Kyle can't make a single shot, which is why he has to stay late at practice, because the coach is like, don't leave till you get 10 free throws. I would be like, okay, 1, 2, bye. Skiddly do. If no one's watching me make the 10 free throws, I already made the 10 free throws. If 10 free throws are made in the wood and no one gives a shit, does anyone give a shit? Hi, Leaves. Love you. Bonnie comes in, again, just to add insult to injury, it seems like, because she's mad.
I don't want to perpetuate a stereotype, but they say the Irish are a little hot-headed.
She said, I'm not into negative stereotypes, so why don't you come over here and beat me, you angry Irish drunk? Like, you just perpetuated a stereotype. She's like, I heard that you were Irish from Russell, and you're lucky all the time. She gets mad for this. Like, I don't know what she's mad about at this point. I think this could be a little bit more, like, I don't know. Let's talk about it.
You're a nice guy and all that, but you'd be a better person if everything hadn't always been so easy for you. Look at basketball. You guys were outplayed, but you won anyways because you got lucky.
Oh, did you have your magical luck detection goggles on, Bonnie? He spiked the ball like a volleyball into the net. I mean, that couldn't have taken zero skill. It had to have some practice behind it. She's like mad here that he's Irish and has been lucky. She's like, you're such a dick because you haven't had as hard of a life. Like, you don't know that. You don't know his life. I think they could have fleshed that out a little bit more. Like, if she had been witness to some more of the lucky things, like the thing in the classroom with the test, if she was there being like noticing it rather than the summer school girl, then it would make a little more sense. But just a small tweak. Because here it's sort of like, I heard you're Irish. And he's like, yeah, and I've had an unlucky day. And she's like, well, you're always lucky, so who cares? It's like, all right, Jesus.
It was the perfect ending for the worst day of my life.
Okay, this kid needs someone to bully him for something. He's had it way too easy. How come even on my best days that I can possibly remember in school, someone still made fun of me for the way that I talk? But Kyle here misses a free throw and his whole life is ruined? Okay, you straight people. You conventionally attractive straight people, that's the real issue. You cis white men with your perfect bodies and your goddamn hair gel and your stupid overbite. What am I talking about? Now I'm just getting hateful. Listen up, humans. You guys, they have a whole 1 minute sequence where he's at the basketball game again and he like basically gets taken out of the game. They barely win. They still get to go to championships, but no help because of Kyle. He like couldn't make a shot. The way that I am relieved when we get to a basketball scene in this movie because I could just skim through it, I love that. Same with High School Musical. I was like, oh, another basketball game? Great, I'll take a little nap. The next morning though, escalation. We are here at the end of our first act, so the inciting incident is about to hit us.
Ah, boys, there's nothing like a peat fire to put the taste of air in your breakfast.
Okay, so mommy has to go to the hospital for a few weeks. We're all lucky we didn't die of carbon monoxide poisoning last night. Your mother just tried to midsommar us. In Kyle's science class, they're doing an experiment to test the magnetism of metals, and that's when they realize his pure gold coin is actually an iron knockoff that must have been switched at the fair. So they both leave class and start panicking. I thought it was so cool how we used a payphone at school. We could never do this at my school.
Does he look shorter to you?
Check out that hair. And my dad won't let me dye mine. He's got this thing about Dennis Rodman.
Your dad is homophobic, and that isn't hair dye. He's clearly suffering from excess iron poisoning. Or he's just been using a lot of sun-in. I know that shade of orange very well. This hydrogen peroxide bleach job is something to behold. They were like, you're gonna get the worst frosted tips we've ever given anyone. They're gonna be intentionally orange. Everyone's starting to notice that something's wrong. Kyle's shorter, his hair is a different color. He's talking like this.
Oh, saints preserve us. I am getting shorter.
Another movie moment forever drilled into our head by Disney Channel promos. They really came into our homes and carved a hidden Mickey deep inside of our brains, didn't they? Oh, saints preserve us, I am getting shorter. Is that an Irish accent? Oh, saints preserve us, I am getting shorter. I used to always do an Irish accent to my sisters for no reason. I would be like, oh my child, rest your weary head. Doesn't sound good, does it? Rest your weary head, my child. Oh my child, rest your weary head, my child. Oh, saints preserve us, I am getting shorter. Give this video a thumbs up if my accent was good, and also give it a thumbs up if it was bad. And also click subscribe because I'm trying to get to 200,000 subscribers this year, baby. Let's do it. Kyle gets home and we got a full kickoff of the full second act of the movie.
There's something your mother and I need to tell you, son.
I'm a leprechaun, Kyle.
Okay, but who's forcing you to dress like a young Alexander Hamilton? I feel like Disney Plus is getting their wires crossed on the back end. So it turns out as long as the family has that lucky coin that Kyle has had around his neck, that and everybody's going to be appearing as a normal human. But without it, they start to become leprechaun-y again. So Kyle shows his knockoff coin and is like, my coin got stolen, but I saw this weird old guy at the party thing.
Now what's this about an old man? Gray in the hair, was he?
You could almost even say gray in the face, but I think he just had the wrong shade of foundation. We find out that this is actually Kyle's grandfather.
He's your grandfather O'Reilly. Knew we should have moved as soon as they built that new potato chip factory.
You mean Emerald Isles?
Sure, and it's he that owns the whole company.
Okay, so Grandpa's sitting on a potato chip fortune and you tried to serve me pig's feet for lunch today? No wonder he disowned you, Mom. You kind of suck to live with. I would step on her right away. Stomp. Sorry, Mom, you're gross. So Kyle and his dad and mom drive to Emerald Isle Potato Chips so that they can find the granda. And they have to sneak inside.
The cheer group is here.
Why is everyone looking at the camera in this movie? Also, get ready, because that's the most Irish her accent will sound for all of her lines. The cheer group is here. The cheer group is here. That's a little Scottish to me. It sounds more Shrekky. The cheer group is here. We learn a little bit more about why Kyle's never known his grandfather.
Why don't I ever get to see him? Because I'm not a leprechaun, and they don't believe in mixed marriages. That's why we had to leave Cleveland.
If you and Mom, you know, like, love each other, why should it matter?
Sometimes leprechauns can be small-minded.
I love how most of the family conflicts in Disney movies come down to the racist-ass grandparents who don't like mixed marriages. This was the same thing in Halloween Town. It was like the grandma was like, oh, you married a human? You. Like, these are supposed to be the good guys, but they're so small-minded, like Munchkins, so small-minded. It's always the grandparents too, like, Disney, enough with the subtle hints that you want us to euthanize the elderly. You can just put the request before the season 2 premiere of WandaVision and people will do it. Bonnie, along with the rest of the young achievers, are actually happening to be touring this tour group, core factory, potato chip factory tour group, tour as well. Sometimes I don't want to finish the sentence properly, so I just say, I just throw words at you and you can rearrange it yourself.
On behalf of our president and founder, Mr. Riley O'Reilly, I'd like to say welcome to Emerald Isle. If you follow me, we'll begin the tour.
Wait, why are you German now? I guess these local Utah actors will just put any accent on their resume. But then when they get on set, it sounds like whatever Von Trapp they most recently played in The Sound of Music. Kyle sneaks into the tour group with the other students, so he's able to infiltrate Emerald Isle.
The potato chip was invented in the late 1800s when a cook accidentally sliced some potatoes too thin and discovered they turned crisp when he fried them.
Heidi, you are really teaching these students the unverified Saratoga Springs legend of the potato chip from the late 1800s. There was already an identical recipe for that in the best-selling Cook's Oracle of 1870. And yes, I do donate to Wikipedia. Better than you. During this part of the second act is really where we get a lot of drawn-out action sequences that let you know this is supposed to feel like a family-friendly adventure film. Because we have this long chase sequence through the potato chip factory, which doesn't need to happen. You know, like it's just this one guard chasing him. He went headfirst into the potato peeler. At least we can thank St. Patrick he was incinerated quickly and painlessly, except for all the skin peeling. And since folks here to an absurd degree seem fixated on your verdigris, would it be alright by you if I degreenify you? And though of course that's not important to me, alright, why not? I'll reply. Okay, let's get back into it. So Kyle has just been incinerated by this mysterious metal tube. No, but it's okay. He lands in the basement with Bonnie and his grandfather, whose name is Riley O'Reilly. Didn't even have to look that one up, which is good because my internet's not working right now. Yeah, Riley O'Reilly was played by Henry Gibson. And yeah, he played Tim O'Shanter in an episode of Bewitched. So he played a leprechaun. There you go. I wasn't wrong, I was right, and everyone has to celebrate me on National Being Correct Day. Right after Kyle finds his grandfather with Bonnie, he realizes, uh-oh, his leprechaun transformation is going even faster.
Oh no, I'm turning into a Vulcan.
That was clearly a joke that some dad made on set that they decided to include, because most kids our age would not even know what a Vulcan is. I definitely didn't get this joke when I was a kid, and now that I'm old enough to get it, I don't like it. Also, I hate when people touch their prosthetics like that. You can see it wobbling. As they're talking and walking, Kyle realizes that it wasn't the granddad who stole his watch like the mom thought. The mom thought, it's my granddad trying to spite us because of this mixed marriage, which, you know, you really have a bad relationship with your dad if you assume it's him who stole your family's luck. Like, why would he steal your luck? And even then, wouldn't you still have the luck because it would be within the family? Make it make sense. Oh, also the grandpa is like obsessed with making his own shoes, which never plays into the plot, but it's just like a general leprechaun thing they wanted to include.
When you make your own shoes, you're the master of your feet.
Listen, Mr. Fried Potatoes, I'll start making my own shoes when you start making your own insulin. Can we keep it moving? We're halfway through here and we haven't seen a single leprechaun fight. Like I said, Mr. Riley O'Reilly knows right away that someone who must be up into behind the stealing of the coin having the necklacing.
Can't be. Why, without our luck, it's all that's held us together for 1,000 years and more. 1,000 years of invasion and oppression, and being forced from the land. 1,000 years of stony fields and famine, saying goodbye forever as you get on a boat for a distant shore.
I guess I missed the part of Angela's Ashes where he opens a potato chip factory at the end. Isn't there an evil leprechaun we're supposed to be defeating? Why are you writing a sad play right now? That's just one of those ham-fisted monologues that they gave us, and Bonnie is always coming in to support it with a counterpoint.
I mean, it wasn't luck that built this factory.
And I might still be a short order chef if it had not been for a bit of luck one day when I sliced the spuds too thin.
Are you saying you invented the potato chip? That was over 100 years ago.
Again, not only did this never happen, but even if it did, it had nothing to do with Ireland. I think it's a little weird that they're only associating the Irish and the leprechauns with potato chips because potatoes were a big crop in Ireland and they had the potato famine, which killed thousands and millions. Although I'm pretty sure potatoes are still like a main food of Ireland. Like we still think of them that way. People in Ireland, do you eat a lot of potatoes, or do you agree with that generalization that you love potatoes? I think I love potatoes more than the average Irish person. I'm like, French fries? Give me one long French fry that's 3 feet long. I'll be here all night. You'd have to find a long potato for that. That's my new Irish nickname, Long Potato. If I was a leprechaun, I would be Long Potato. So after we get out to the car, the mom, the dad, the grandpa, Bonnie, Kyle, and now Russell are all joined together in this green convertible. It doesn't matter how. Russell sort of jumps in the car without knowing anybody because they're like, we want to get him back in.
Kyle, It's not our way to be telling the whole world all about us.
Just stop your jabbering and drive the car.
Seriously, Granda, are we or are we not after me Lucky Charms? Someone had to say it, but I'm pretty sure that's a trademarked catchphrase. Next, we go on a 5-minute chase scene where Kyle and friends are chasing behind Seamus McTiernan's tour bus, where they're like, we're gonna lose them, and they throw a pot of potatoes and corned beef hash at them. But they are eventually lost because the car kind of breaks down and then it starts raining and they can't get the roof up because their luck is so bad. That was a lot to go through. I'm just gonna say it, like, I didn't like that whole chase scene. I get it, I probably liked it as a kid because it's like chase scenes are parts of movies and it's supposed to be an action adventure thing, but I was just like, it's a car following another car. And maybe if we didn't just have that chase scene through the potato chip factory so recently, like if they could have spread out those chase scenes and made the first one part of the mystery hunting mission where he's like being stalked through the fairground by that mean guy who wants to steal from him, then I could have felt that sense of suspense and mystery and action earlier on and not felt like they're cramming it into the third part of the movie. But here we are in the third act where we've got some changes happening.
I mean, when the Irish came to America, things were tough, and they had to work at jobs other people wouldn't take, and they didn't get paid what they deserved.
Well, at least they got paid.
Disney said, shout out to American slavery. We'll touch more on this in February of next year for Black History Month.
She's a young achiever.
I'm an American. That's what we all are. And Americans don't give up.
Or in the case of fixing climate control, we barely even start to try. Which is why we get to enjoy such rapidly changing weather phenomena. Because they believed they had luck, they start to have better luck, and they fight for their way to the top like all Americans do, is I guess what they're telling me. Even though they kind of just do this through the power of positive thinking. Now we're getting into the portion of the movie that we edited live on my live stream, so if you guys were with me for that, then you already know some of the stuff that's coming up. It's a big lot. There's a big lot about to happen. Oh my gosh, I would love a trip to Big Lots.
I mean, you know, you being here kind of makes me think maybe I haven't lost all my luck.
Do you really mean that? Or is it just blarney?
That's sort of our word as Irish leprechauns, and it's really harmful to hear you say it. Now, out of respect for Irish culture, you have to wear these shamrock sunglasses and drink 3 pints of green beer. We get a lucky break, just like we need, with another leprechaun-themed luck thing. The granddad discovers a rainbow, and that's a mythical thing that helps them find their gold.
Come on, boys!
That's gonna be me when the clubs finally open up after my 30th birthday. I feel like I've been doing a when the clubs open back up joke in most videos lately. It's gonna be so embarrassing when they actually do open up and I never go to a single one. Even though they just followed that rainbow all the way to the end, Russell is still hating.
There's no end.
You're some kind of scientist.
I'd like to be one someday.
Oh, Russell wants to be a 3-dimensional character all of a sudden too. Since when has he had any academic aspirations? Also, someone pointed it out in my editing live stream, but Russell's makeup is a tad dark as well. Like, I feel like they got some union makeup artist who has not a lot of experience, who is with elderly pale people or people with dark skin. Seamus and his friends are eating corned beef and hash inside, and so they don't notice when Kyle and the granddad sneak on to the leprechaun bus. And they see a safe and they want to open it, which is not a problem somehow.
How'd you do that? It's a leprechaun thing.
What in the Rumpelstiltskin? Since when is crazy lock spinning a leprechaun thing? Never heard of this in any of my children's books. That's not on the back of any cereal. You can't just add new magical powers all haphazardly like how I follow the directions on cough syrup labels. They uncover in the safe this whole box of lucky coins that Seamus must have been stealing from thousands of other leprechauns that he's trying to control the world with all of their luck. But Kyle finds his coin, he can sense it in his fingers. I think it would have made more sense if all of these coins had their own little family seal on them. That would have been cool. Anyway, keep these coins in mind, because any one of these coins is a family that has no luck and presumably turned back into leprechauns and died somewhere. I don't know.
Come on, give me a hand.
Whoa, Grandad, you can't take it all. It's not ours.
It's just lying there for the take.
You mean stealing?
I mean seizing the opportunity.
The screenwriter said, let's add opportunistic thieves to the list of things we're calling Irish people in this movie. Kyle, of course, talks sense into his grandpa and is like, this is all people's luck, just like ours. We can't take it. We're just as bad as him. And that's all well and good. His ears start fixing themselves. Ew, I don't like knowing about that loud squelch sound that your body makes when it quickly absorbs your own ears. Also, how come his hair's not going back to normal, huh? We're not home free yet because Seamus has caught on to this ruse.
O'Reilly.
I've got him by the beard, boyo, and no leprechaun can get away from that.
Kyle!
Wouldn't it be hard for anyone to get away if you were holding them by the beard? I also feel like they just kidnapped a minor out there. Where are all those nice union step dancers from earlier? I don't understand why this big apparition of the guy had to come in and pull his beard just to then bring him back in through the front door. That felt a little weird to me, but whatever. Couldn't he have just like appeared in there and grabbed his beard? I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to use this effect. Either way, Kyle learned from his grandfather that Seamus can barely ever resist a wager, so you have to bet him on something and he'll take it.
If I beat you at sports, you let my granddad go and I get to keep my lucky coin.
Well, you've got yourself a wager.
I already sat through like 2 basketball scenes. Now I have to watch them play Quidditch. God damn you, Lucky the Leprechaun. So Kyle didn't specify what sports, so of course they end up in the gosh Irish countryside to play some good old-fashioned Highland sports.
Do you know nothing at all your heritage? It's the Tulchin Games that were played in Ireland for 3,000 years.
Baby, I just learned that I was Irish 6 minutes ago, so pardon me for not having memorized the whole works of James Joyce yet. So the way it goes is like they play these different sports, and every time Kyle wins one, his flag drops, and every time Seamus wins one, their flag drops, and it's like all of these sports that kind of relate to what Kyle does in real life that we've never seen him do before.
Kyle's on the wrestling team at school. It's just junior high.
Girl, you look high school aged. What is going on with these movies? Everyone's always like, oh yeah, I'm 25, you know, 7th grade. Are you joking me? The final sport is Irish step dancing, of course, because in Ireland, step dancing is a sport. And although Seamus does a great job, he is not expecting Kyle to pull one out like this.
What sort of step is that?
It's my step.
Well, we need you to stop. Also, you can't come back to Ireland anymore. Can we bring in the trained body double, please? Between sports and school, I'm not sure when Kyle found the time to be a professional breakdancer. Boys in Disney movies are always unusually good at whatever cool activity the story calls for. See also skateboarding. And Troy Bolton. He was like, I'm a mechanic, I'm a skateboarder, I'm a dancer, I'm a singer. You've got a people-pleasing mentality, and I can see it from here. So with that, there's actually a tie, which is not great news.
If you didn't beat me at sports, the coin was mine. Well, a tie's not beating me.
Man, what a cheat.
Okay, so leprechauns are thieves, cheaters. Can we also say that they're taking anyone's jobs that we know of? Also, a tie is not beating him. You would need a tiebreaker. Girls, it's not cheating. But either way, they were like, let's play a sport of my sports time. And if I win, I'm the sportiest.
If I lose, I'll be your slave.
I hate to ask, but what does that grown man want with a child slave? He's not gonna be strong enough to rearrange my marble statues for at least another 3 years of eating nothing but whole milk and rice. But you know Seamus can't pass up a wager, so he says, yar, I'll do it.
If I win, I get my coin back, and you'll live forever in the land of my fathers, and never leave the shores of Erie.
It was at this point that I remembered we have another basketball scene, and my heart sank so deep into the Irish depth. And I'm sorry that we all have to go through this together, but I guess we can just take comfort in knowing that this is what the Irish struggle was like when they first came to America. They had to sit through basketball scenes. It's just so hard when you build yourself up from nothing and they make you watch basketball. Sorry. So as soon as he high-fives, they end up at that championship game that we've been building up to this whole time. And although the guys look like regular basketball players to everyone else in the audience, Kyle and the fam, they all see the Seamus and the friend.
Look, there's your granddad!
That poor old man spends the whole climax chained to some board like he's in the back corner of the Eagle. I hope he's supplementing with collagen because I already know he's gonna get some bruises from those shackles. We've all been there. So they're playing basketball and the granddad gives Russell a coin at some point and he's like, that's a lucky coin for you. So Kyle's like, what the hell, granddad, I'm jealous.
Why did you give Russell that coin?
I thought you could use a little help.
It's confidence the boy be wanting, not some lucky coin. Oh, he's got all the luck he needs. Right in here.
How come you're smart enough to see that that's true for Russell, but as a leprechaun, you ultimately need that lucky coin to survive? Like, you're basically teaching the lesson of the movie to yourself, but you're not hearing it. But Kyle hears it, he's like, yeah, the luck is all within me. So that helps him close the gap on the points.
One more, and you've got it! Give me the ball!
I missed the explanation for why he just turned into an evil goblin. I think the writers just realized we're here watching a regular basketball game and they didn't want to go back and rewrite anything. So they're like, he turns evil when he's mad. I mean, as a kid, I felt that this really worked up the stakes. I was like, oh, it's evil, he's the bad guy. But I wish that they could have been like, oh, he's an evil leprechaun who was corrupted by the British, I don't know. And then he's like power hungry for leprechaun luck because he's trying to take over the world, and if he doesn't get it, he becomes a goblin, whatever. Just give me something. It was unmotivated, this makeup change. But whatever, Kyle and his team win the game, so everybody just magically disappears for some reason.
If it's a fair and square.
Do you remember the rest of our bet?
Oh, I remember it, boyo. It's home you're sending me. To live forever in Ireland. I'll be king of the leprechauns yet.
Oh my God, I don't care. But as a kid, I was like, oh, the trickery, the buffoonery that Kyle just pulled is so smart.
I said the shores of Erie.
Would you at least learn how to say it? The land of your fathers isn't Erie, boyo. It's Era.
My father's from Cleveland.
Good one, Kyle. Tell him where your dad's from. I did think it was good writing, though, that he did this wordplay, and he tricked him like a leprechaun should. He's a tricky little leprechaun yet. Check out this effect on Seamus. Where he was quickly torn apart and eaten by the native striped bass. I wish they could have given us something that let us know that they're returning all of that stolen luck to all of the other leprechauns. Like, what happens to his little lackeys here? I wish they could have been like, oh, and now all of this luck is being magically returned to everybody and luck is restored to the world. Because right now we just got these hopeless leprechauns running around without luck. But also, Bonnie had mentioned she was only in the Young Achievers because her dad wanted it to look good on college applications, and her real special talent was basketball. So the granddad helps her out with that.
Did your daughter not tell you she's been all day interviewing for our scholarship program from Emerald Isle potato chips?
We have a quota for female interns, and we get double points if she's not a pale redhead. He's like, oh, your daughter should play basketball because we love a well-rounded applicant. So the dad is like, oh, she's joining the basketball team next year. So blah, blah, blah. Everything's getting wrapped up. Everything's beautiful. And then we finally end on Kyle's performance at World Culture Day, which I personally could do without. I'm sure Ryan Merriman worked really hard to nail those dance steps. And I won't say that that makes this even funnier to me, but it certainly doesn't hurt. Let's cut in that body double, sis. Oof, if we're gonna have him end on the cheesy arm flex, can we at least fetch him a dry t-shirt first? But Kyle can't just be ruining a dance number, he has to also ruin my eardrums with singing. No one asked for this.
This land is your land, this land is my land, from California to the New...
Oh, so he's a triple threat. Basketball player who can sing and dance. A young Troy Bolton is out in the audience right now, polishing his tap shoes and sharpening his katana. Of course, Bonnie comes and joins and sings because they're like sort of boyfriend-girlfriend now.
From the redwood forest, Gulf Stream water, this land was made for you and me.
Did we cue you to stand, sir? This is not an audience participation moment. Have some respect for the giant flag.
I saw endless skyway, this land was made for you and me.
Wow, this song about national parks just cured racism. Just in time for the St. Paddy's Day pub crawl. What do you guys think of Luck of the Irish? Did you find this script problematic and stereotypical towards Irish people? I'm curious your thoughts, so let me know in the comments below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on DCOMs just like this. Let me know what you'd like to see next. And most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right down here. That way you never miss new videos from me. Turn on the bell and you'll always be the first to know when I upload 2 new ones every week. I would love to hit 200,000 subscribers this year, so it would mean so much to me if you could join the Nick D crew. Once again, I have merch available and a Patreon where you can get bonus clip breakdowns and watch parties from me. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for making this land yours and mine. I'll see you all next time.